How's everybody doing today? TK here. So for my media post, I wanted to do something special. So I have a few things here to show you first. This is the collector's edition of The Lord of the Rings, all three books there. I have my case for The Hobbit. Um, that's the collector's edition of that book, of course. And then I have the Lord of the Rings extended edition box set there, as well as the Hobbit Extended Edition. The reason I have all of these is because I didn't pick one particular book or movie or scene or song from any of them. I picked the entire story, the genre of Lord of the Rings. Um, Not fantasy really, all just Lord of the Rings, but Tolkien's created universe of the Lord of the Rings is amazing to me. I first watched the movies when they came out, of course, but I was too young to really get some of the underlying morals, messages, themes of the movies when Lord of the Rings came out. In seventh grade, a couple years later, I read The Hobbit, and I actually ended up reading it front to back and then again. I actually read it. I read it twice back to back. I enjoyed it so much, and I hadn't really enjoyed reading up to that point, sixth grade. Started reading a little bit more, but I hadn't really found any great stories. And then I finally read The Hobbit, and that really sparked my interest in the fantasy genre to really start. It was a catalyst to really start. It got me on the path to where I am now. Um, and then I went back and I rewatched The Lord of the Rings, and then I read the book, and it just kind of went. It was a snowball from there, um, and it's forever been my favorite story. So of course, whenever The Hobbit came out, I went and watched that in theaters multiple times, all three movies. I did the re-releases of the movies, the all day watching marathons. It's a good time. Um, but the real connection that I have to these is because Tolkien created this entire universe from his own mind. He created a language, a continent, races, history, religion, all in this story. And not only is that it's all part of the books, of course, but he has all of these underlying messages in these stories. You have death and immortality, you have courage, you have the hobbits being the underdog. Um, I could go on, of course. There's so many, but I think the part that I love about all of that is that I want to be a game designer, and I I I envy the ability to do that, and I hope that I can eventually someday copy that in a sense that I can maybe eventually create a game that has an underlying theme or message that resonates with the player, and that they also enjoy playing the game, of course. Something that they'll want to replay over and over again because they love the story. Even though they know it's not going to change on their second or third playthrough, maybe they just love reliving that and living in that world and reliving the experience that they got from that game, and maybe it inspires some nostalgia from the first time that they played it because they didn't know that there was that underlying theme or message until they got to the end. And I think that's really where my connection to this story comes in, as well as my love for the fantasy genre in general. So that's what I have to share with you.